Was there a touch of spring? Did she have a pink dress on? And when she smiled, her shy smile, could you almost touch the moon?
It's a great honor. The church has a very proud history and has really stood for the spirit of African Americans, and I would even say the spirit of America in Charleston since 1818. A spirit of defiance and standing up for what is right and what is true. And when I say that, I mean that Morris Brown, the founder, believed that African Americans ought to be able to assemble and worship freely, as Richard Allen thought in Philadelphia. It's interesting that they were not aware of each other, but the same sort of fervor and spirit that Richard Allen had in Philadelphia was the same kind of spirit and fervor of Morris Brown. And maybe that's why they became such good friends over time. But Mother Emanuel, since 1818, has stood for freedom and worship for African Americans in South Carolina. And so it's an humbling privilege I have to serve as its pastor.
Why does black political participation matter so much? Why is it important?
Well, it's important for many reasons. One, we're impacted by the system. You know, what's the quote? Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what it boils down to. We are in an American system where politics and money and the power that it generates controls and impacts our life. Not every aspect, but many aspects. From the eye drops that goes into a baby's eyes to how a death certificate reads, and nearly everything in the middle is impacted by the political process. So we need to be a part if we want to say in our own life, if we want to be independent, if we want to influence what's happening around us, or the reverse is to let everybody else control and influence. And then we just sort of take whatever comes. That's what slaves did. But, we're not slaves. We're Americans, so we have a responsibility to look at ourselves. Self-help, if you will. I also think that we have a historic legacy that we need to uphold. Whether it be Robert Smalls, R.H. King, other persons who were the first elected in this state. We need to be involved as they were involved. But so many unnamed persons, the grandmother's prayer, Lord, let me be free. If not me, my children. If not my children, my children's children.
Deferred gratification.
Deferred gratification, you know. So we have an obligation. We have a legacy to uphold. The people who died so that we could have the right to vote, the people who sacrificed so that we could one day realize the dream of a black president, of black elected officials, after segregation. We have an opportunity. I think it does the memories of our people a disservice when we do not vote, if we do not vote, and if we buy into this whole idea that other people are perpetuating and saying our vote doesn't count. We don't have that. We don't have that choice. We don't have that. We don't have that privilege to say our vote doesn't count. Because history tells us.
These names are being released in no specific order, but I will just go through them. And the first name is Cynthia Hurd. She was a 54-year-old lady who was currently employed in Charleston County as the branch manager for St. Andrews Regional Library. And obviously, we're all shattered by that and she'll be missed deeply. The next individual is Susie Jackson, 87 years of age. Another individual, Ethel Lance, 70 years of age. Reverend DePayne Middleton Dr., 49 years of age. And Reverend Middleton the Doctor retired from Charleston County in 2005, where she was the director of the Community Development Block Grant Program. The next individual is the Honorable Reverend Clemente Pinckney, 41 years of age. As many of you know, he served in the South Carolina Senate currently. The next individual is Tywanza Sanders, 26 years of age. The next is Reverend Daniel Simmons, Sr., 74 years of age. Mr. Simmons was the only individual who did not die at the church, but was rather transported to MUSC, where he later died while he was in the operating room. The next individual is Reverend Sharonda Singleton, 45 years of age. And the last name is Myra Thompson, 59 years of age. Obviously, you've been following the investigation. I'm sure you're aware that the suspect has been arrested and charged. And of course, the judicial system will move through the normal processes from here forward.
I mean that Morris Brown, the founder, believed that African Americans ought to be able to assemble and worship freely, as Richard Allen thought in Philadelphia. It's interesting that they were not aware of each other, but the same sort of fervor and spirit that Richard Allen had in Philadelphia was the same kind of spirit and fervor of Morris Brown. And maybe that's why they became such good friends over time. But Mother Emanuel, since 1818, has stood for freedom and worship for African Americans in South Carolina. And so it's an humbling privilege I have to serve as the pastor.